Good evening and welcome to the January 9th meeting of the Beavercreek Park Recreation and Culture Board. I hereby call this meeting to order, and we will begin with a roll call, please.
Mr. Corbett.
Here.
Mrs. Fulcher.
Here.
Mrs. Heaton.
Here.
Mrs. Meyer.
Here.
Mr. Schmidt is not with us this evening.
Good. Thank you, Jackie. Fellow board members, you have in front of you the agenda for tonight's meeting, and once you've had a chance to look at that, I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And also in front of you, you have minutes from the November meeting. We did not meet formally in December. So you have the minutes from the November 14th meeting. I hope you've had a chance to look at those. Again, if there are no changes, I would accept a motion to approve those minutes.
I motion to approve the minutes.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, along with our agenda, we're going to get going here with the division report, combined report actually tonight. And we'll start with Kim.
My name is Kim Farrell. I'm the Parks Director.
Farrell, that's right.
Farrell, yes,
Yeah, okay.
Farrell, for those of you listening at home and want to take notes. Good
2 R's?
Excuse me?
2 R's?
2 R's. 2 R's, 2 L's?
Okay.
Yep. A, not E. Thank you. Good evening. So back in November when we met, we talked about goals and how we set those goals. So we thought in January we'd share some of the accomplishments that we actually did back in 2023. And you'll hear a little bit more about that in February when we do our annual report, but we wanted to just kind of highlight some of those this month as well. So, yep, Eric, just making fun of you for not knowing my name. Zach and I will be splitting this presentation. I'm going to cover recreation in the senior center, and then Zach will pick it up for parks. So
We'll be here all week, folks.
Ba-dum-bum. Hopefully we'll be here all week. We'll see how this presentation goes. But as always, we start with the senior center. So in 2023, we increased activities in the evenings and weekend hours, and that was helped by offering pickleball, yoga, meditation, and some more arts and crafts classes. We had over 2,100 members by the end of the year, and this is certainly surpassing anything we've seen in the past, especially pre-COVID. So it's great that our members are coming out. We're really excited to see the big numbers, but then we're also noticing, wow, that's a lot of people coming in through the doors. Our staffing numbers haven't changed. The building size hasn't changed.
I actually have a legitimate question. Sorry to interrupt you. That number 2,100 is actual individual members, not visits, right?
That is
That's
correct.
what I thought. Just clarify.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
that is 2,100.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So we're up 503 members since, that should be 2022. Oh, I'm sorry. So we added 503 members in 2023. So again, great problem to have. So it's just a time for our staff to look at things again. It's like, all right, so now moving forward, how do we anticipate the 2,100 members that we have? And moving forward, I certainly anticipate more joining in 2024 because it's a great place to be. Transportation, same way. So we had 11,440 transportation trips. In 2022, we had 9,000, and wheelchair trips also going up. And again, our transportation program is run all by volunteers. So the drivers, the scheduler, the escorts, we do send 2 people out in the van anytime there's a trip. So a driver and then the escort helps the individual from their house into the van, into the store, or whatever. And we anticipate hopefully receiving a grant to purchase a new van this year, but it's great to have the vehicles, but we need the volunteers to actually drive those vehicles. So that's another challenge that we have. It's a constant challenge every single year. If you pay attention to these meetings each month, we're always asking for volunteers. It's out on social media, in the newspapers. So that will never end. We're always going to be looking for volunteers. Some of the upcoming events at the Senior Center. Kettering Health Food Trends, January 22nd, and Downsizing Roadmap Workshop, January 23rd. A good portion of our programs are for members only. So if you're not a member and some of these programs that we talk about sound great to you, stop on by, get a tour. We're happy to show people our facilities, talk about all the programs that we have, and then get you signed up. And we do have day passes as well, too. So you're like, this sounds great, but this really great one for me. You come in, sign up for like a day, and just experience what the Senior Center has to offer. And we always do like to thank our partners that are able to bring these programs to us. So Kettering Health, obviously the sponsor is Kettering Health, and the Downsizing Roadmap, sponsored by Keller Williams Community Partners. And then, of course, our Valentine's Day party is coming up on February 14th on Valentine's Day from 1 to 3. We're going to have live music and enjoy appetizers and desserts. Registration for some of these programs will start at the end of January. It'll be in the newsletter. But again, if that sounds like a great time, you're not a member, I suggest that you sign up, become a member, and then be ready to register early because these programs do fill. So you don't have to have a date for your Valentine's Day party. You can just come and enjoy as a single, too. There's plenty of singles out there. On the recreation side, feel overall recreation had a great year as well. Some of the highlights, we partnered with the police on a National Night Out. This was the first time it came to one of our parks in many, many years. So we're really excited to host it at Rotary Park and work with the police department. Great people to work with. We had a great turnout, and so we're looking again to this summer for another one. We offered 2 children's entertainment puppet shows. So those ran in conjunction with our summer concert series, trying to, instead of just summer concerts and music, do something for the kids as well. And then you'll see that our summer concert welcomed over 1,700 people this summer. And we will be looking forward to those again this summer as well, starting usually about the first or second Sunday in June. We offered adult softball, a women's league for the first time. Adult softball registration is open right now. So for men's, co-ed, and the women's league, that usually runs on Wednesday evenings. So again, last year was the first time for it. Had a great time with it, so we'll be offering that league again. We ran a whole lot more summer camps than we had before with our specialty camps. So we offered bowling was a new one, and then we also had some art classes or art camps that were brand new. I think some music ones too. So again, all of this stuff will be out in Touch soon, as well as on our website. And we offered a variety of new classes and programs. The picture that you see here is our goat yoga. So that's been very popular. We've also offered something similar at the Senior Center, and that's goat cuddle therapy. So instead of doing yoga poses, having the goats climb on you, you have an opportunity to like sit and just kind of cuddle with a goat. It's a great, just a very, so very nice. Winter walks at Warringer Park. Again, this is the 3rd or 4th year we've done this. Each cabin has been decorated by a local group. We want to thank the Beavercreek Historical Society, Green Optimist Club, the Beavercreek Lions, and Kiwanis Club of Beavercreek for each decorating a cabin. Throughout the month of December, you're able to go out, check out all the lights, and vote on the cabin that you think is that you enjoy looking at the best. And I'd like to say congratulations to the Kiwanis Club of Beavercreek for winning the decorating 2 years in a row. And I would like to pat myself on the back. I am a part of the Beavercreek Kiwanis, so we're very proud of what we did this past year. But all the cabins looked really nice, and it's really cool to get different groups because each cabin is decorated differently. So it's if you didn't get out there this year, go about next year. We're going to add more lights. We just can't get enough lights, so it's awesome. And then in December, again, we had our winter welcome at Warringer Park. So this was the one-night event. People come out to see Santa Claus. We had a barbershop quartet come out. This was the first time we had it in the evening. So this way, people had the opportunity to see the lights, see everything lit up. And I will say I want to thank our park staff. They did a phenomenal job. So they're the ones that hung the lights on all the trees. They lit up the sidewalk. They decorated the barn. They did a phenomenal job and really took it to heart, and they're already talking about next year what they want to do. So I'm so proud of them. They looked great. But this event was more than we ever anticipated. We had close to 1,500 people come out. If you were out there, you knew that was like, wow, there was a lot of people. Obviously, a Friday evening, for 3 hours, we did have a couple food trucks. So we're thinking about next year, how we can change it up, how we can make it a little easier for parking and what we can do for people to come into the park. But certainly want to thank Beavercreek Library, IH Credit Union, the Beavercreek Historical Society, Green Optimists, Kiwanis Club of Beavercreek, and the Beavercreek Lions. Some of those groups were out there helping that evening, and then there's some groups that donated money so we could put this whole program on. So thank you to everybody that helped out. And of course to our many volunteers that were out there that evening with check-in and just like, hey, guiding people all around and where everything was supposed to be. So our snowman contest is going on right now. We had a little bit of snow this past weekend. So if you didn't get an opportunity to build your snowman then, sounds like more's coming. So maybe this weekend you'll have an opportunity. But if you do build a snowman, please send your photo to our Parks Department at parks@beavercreekohio.gov. At the end of February, when we get to early March, we'll post all those photos on Facebook, and so the community can vote on which snowman they like the best, and that family will win a prize pack. And now I will turn this over to Zach to talk about parks.
Kim, I have a quick
Oh
question.
my God, I'm so sorry. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. So the new van that's going to the senior center, is that a replacement van or an additional van?
It will be a new van, not it's a replacement, but what we'll do is so we'll put one van out of service, but be ready for emergencies.
Ah, okay. All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Good evening. It's always incredible to look at the numbers, and it's amazing you see the senior center memberships increase and all the recreational programs and the attendees, and the volunteer numbers are always impressive too. And one of the numbers that I really like putting together every year that I'm excited for our annual report is the amount of volunteer hours and what that equates to within a wage for the year. And last year, if you recall, we had over 30,000 hours of volunteer time, which was nearly $1 million in volunteer labor. This year, I know it will surpass the 30,000 volunteer hours again, and I anticipate that exceeding the $1 million in volunteer wage. So it's incredible. Moving on into parks, going over some of our accomplishments for 2023. We'll start out with one of our biggest accomplishments, and that was the completion of the Springhouse Park Master Plan. This master plan was put together, and that should. It says we completed that with input from over 2,200 participants, and that was from an online survey and 2 in-person events where town hall meetings where folks could stop by and give us input. This master plan that we put together really meets most of the unmet needs of the community that were identified in the 2019 overall Parks Master Plan, as well as meeting the unmet open green space, park space deficit that we had as an agency. Also in 2023, we worked a lot on improving connectivity. This is one of our overarching goals for our division. Early in 2023, we developed some hiking trails at Cinnamon Ridge Park. That is a neighborhood off of Willow Run in Shakertown that does not have a lot of sidewalks, so this provides an off-road walking experience for people in that neighborhood. We also, with a lot of volunteer help, installed hiking trails at Springhouse Park over the summer, which we opened up in August. We installed a paved walking path at Gershbacher Park, and we replaced a bridge at Merrick Park to help with ADA access and accessibility into that park. Also, some other park improvement projects throughout the year. Early in 23, we replaced all of the roofs on all of the cabins at Wardinger Park. This is done in part with grant money that we received. We also renovated Ball Diamond number 1 at Rotary Park. And going along with our fish study that we did in 2022, we took the advice from that study and stocked the pond at Dominic Park with minnows, and we're working to have volunteers build fish habitat for that pond to help the overall health of the pond and ensure that when folks go out there to go fishing, that there are plenty of fish to catch and that the pond stays healthy.
I have a question on the habitat. might be getting in the weeds a little bit, no pun intended. Does that include vegetation?
So the habitat we're creating, we saw as an idea from another park agency, utilizing 5-gallon buckets and plastic tubing.
Okay.
And that'll create basically vegetation, artificial vegetation that doesn't decompose like, old Christmas trees would. And we'll sink those in the pond, and then the fish can live within that habitat.
Thank you.
Also, other improvements, we installed a gravel parking lot at Springhouse Park, made landscape bed improvements at the senior center and the parking lot, planted 30 new trees within our parks, and installed 700 yards of playground mulch at 9 different playgrounds. That's 7 semi-truck loads of mulch. And if you haven't seen how much mulch that is, it's a lot of mulch. And then moving into 2024, some of the upcoming projects our staff will be working on throughout the year is the replacement of the playground at Walnut Grove Park. This playground was originally installed in 2003. And going along with our replacement schedule of every 20 to 22 years, this fits right in there. It's time for replacement, so look for that this summer. Also replacing the pedestrian bridge, as you see here in this picture, at Stafford Park, and installing a sidewalk to the playground just a little further down from this bridge at Stafford Park as well. Also coming up is installing a paved walking path at Vergalito Park. A few years ago, you may recall our staff installed a gravel walking path around the perimeter of this park. We've had some washout and erosion issues, so we are going to work to pave that path to fix the erosion issue that we have there. Also coming up this spring, before the season gets going, we'll be seal coating the parking lot at Dominic Lafino Park, and then making some hiking trail improvements at Springhouse Park, which includes some new signage, as well as doing some small bridges and stairs to get down through the ravine. And finally, seasonal hiring is posted, so please come join our amazing team. We're accepting applications for this season, and there's positions that include parks intern, sports management intern, camp counselors, and camp director, as well as seasonal maintenance workers and part-time maintenance workers. So if you or anyone you know is interested in joining our team, we have lots of different opportunities. It's a great place to work. Get to do a lot of fun things, work with the community, and make our community a better place. So if that sounds interesting to you, please reach out to our office or visit beavercreekohio.gov and click on the employment tab and apply online. And with that, I'd take any questions if you have any.
Any questions for Zach or Kim? Either one? Okay, great.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, our next item is old business, and Zach had mentioned volunteers quite a bit and the impressive number of hours that we've seen our community give in that area. That does bring to mind probably our biggest event that we do every year is our annual volunteer recognition program, which is scheduled for April. And just to say that we started playing that tonight and actually are pretty far down the road already. Feels a little bit ahead of schedule, but maybe not. I'm sure we'll figure out a way to panic at the last minute. I'm just kidding. But looking forward to that. It's always one of the best things we do, and recognize and appreciate the folks that do give so much so freely to support our community. I'm not aware of any other old business or any new business as we move forward. Already on scheduled visitors as we fly through. Action items. Tonight we have a few minor things related to the volunteer program and some conversations we're having related to how we operate as a board moving forward that we'll continue to discuss. But I don't really have anything else. Action items. Am I missing anything? Oh yeah, I jumped right past that too. Sorry. Skipping back up 4 steps. I saw the word volunteer and I was thinking about volunteer program, so my fault. Yeah, it's also old business is one of the sections where staff share volunteer opportunities with us and the community. So if you have anything coming up that you haven't already mentioned or want to re-highlight.
No, I'll just re-highlight Senior Center, of course, within the transportation program, but there's other opportunities throughout the building. On the recreation side, I think their first event is Soar into Spring. I know that's our first event, but that's probably the first opportunity for volunteers. And I will mention too, so we are starting our 4th of July planning. So if anybody is interested out there in joining that fun committee to put on that celebration, just to reach out to the Parks Department as well.
Right.
Kim, do you have a date for the Soar into Spring?
I do not. We haven't finalized the date yet.
Is that typically early April, or is
It's-
it earlier than that?
It's in April.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Thank you again. Sorry for skipping over that. I think that does, again, unless I've forgotten something else, bring us down to board time. And go ahead, Candy, would start us off if you have
Okay.
anything.
I just want to say that I worked at the Winter Welcome, and it was just so fun to see. It wasn't just children that loved the Winter Welcome. There were adults that kept coming. When are the singers going to be here? When are we going to do this? Like, where can I find? They just, everybody loved it. And you're right about the parking. I left before it was over, and I couldn't even back out. It took me 5 minutes just to get my car out of the spot because people were just driving up and down the aisles or the stop for somebody else that was coming out. There were cars everywhere, and I couldn't turn left on Haynes because there was so much traffic. So I don't want that to be as a deterrent to anybody. I think that is a sign that doing it on a Friday night is a great idea. I think that the community just loved it, of all ages. And also a huge thank you to the maintenance crew for decorating the barn. Last year they did a great job, and then walked in this year and it's like, oh, look, they've added all these extra things. They did just a marvelous job, and so shout out to them.
I also had on there about the winter welcome, and I think that, you know, on top of what Candy said, it's just, this was our first time to do it in the evening, and people were like, is this the first time we've done this? And we'd tell them no, but doing it in the evening, it was our first time, and I think that was an amazing change. So many positive comments from people.
Oh, and I might add that with that parking, nobody complained that they couldn't find a place to park either. Even though that it was hard to get in to park, nobody complained. They walked in and it was like a kid at the candy store. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is so cool. And there's food trucks. They love that.
Yes,
There
they
was-
did.
There
I
was a
think
lot of good things.
It was very good.
Thank you, Christine.
I just want to encourage everyone to keep watch at the website and the social media throughout 2024 at all of the events that are and activities that the Parks Department does. It's important. So keep watch on those two places.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, Matt Schmidt could not be here tonight, but he did forward some comments for board time via email, and I'll read those at this point. Matt said, I was pleased to see the great turnout for the winter welcome at Warrington Park. Everyone seemed to be very excited and happy to have an event like this. The evening hours allowed everyone to see the lights and decorated cabins. I look forward to happening again next year. So similar comments. I was not at the event, but I will share a couple insights on some things other people said. Well, first, how awesome are the sidewalks that we had those done a few years ago? I drive by there every day, and it's made such an impact there and helped make events like that successful. While the parking is a challenge, I know it's also an opportunity for the staff to be creative and I know they will be and find ways to improve that. And they always respond to things like that. And then I love hearing, Kim, your comments about the ownership from the staff and the decoration, because the best places to work and the most successful areas are where the employees all share ownership. And I love hearing that. It's just another sign of a good culture in place in the department. So we appreciate the leadership that Kim, you and Zach and Aaron and then others above you in the council all place in the city. So it's a good place to be. Proud of it. If there's nothing else, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.